Well, I'm going to show you today how you can cook ham and eggs and cheese in a sweet potato. Now what I'm doing here is just taking probably about a third of the sweet potato off, and you'll see why shortly, because the principle here is I'm going to cut around like you're going to scallop out a potato. So you'll see that I've scooped out most. I've cut down and then scooped out with the spoon. It's quite easy. And the bits I'm taking out will definitely be eaten by the birds and the chickens, but there's nothing going to waste. But the idea is to build a little boat, as you can see. So that's how you do that, and that's both of them completed. You'll see how the lid will go back on shortly, because you're going to eat all of this. None of this goes to waste. So the idea now is to get an egg and put it in each of the sweet potato boats. And that's pretty easy to do. Now if you've got very uneven sweet potato, you can actually cut a little wedge on the bottom so it's a bit flatter, but these two weren't too bad. So there's a little bit too much egg in the second one. I actually did take a little bit of the egg white out of that one, just a bit. As if you look carefully you'll see I did. And now I've just cut up a little bit of cheddar cheese. Nothing to order, like it has to be exact size or whatever. You could even use bacon. I'm using ham in this case, so it's ham, egg and cheese. So I'm just roughly slicing the ham up. And I don't know how it happened, but later on you'll see that I happened to get most of the ham in mine and the wife didn't. But you know, there are winners and losers. But that's the process. So what I'm going to do now is just add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. You don't have to. I've just put a little bit of pepper on each, just a bit. And a little bit of salt. Don't need a lot of salt in any foods really. So here goes the shredded ham that I'm just throwing in. No rhyme or reason here. It's just throw it in and make it fit. So bits of you can like I say, you could use anything. You could use salami. It's entirely up to you. And then I'm just going to put in there bits and pieces of cut up cheddar. Again, you could shred this if you want to, like grate it. But I find it's a lot easier to work doing something like this with little cuts of cheese. So that's that. That's now packed with the egg, the ham, and the cheese. And I'm just putting a touch of pepper on there because I can. And that's how the lid goes back on. So now let me show you how they're wrapped. Now it's foil, and I've wrapped it double, so it's a double layer of foil. You'll see how the lid goes on. So what's going to happen now is that I'm going to cover sweet potato, but I'm not going to completely cover it. Just like most things, if you're cooking like this, leave a little gap at the top. That's going to allow the excess steam to come out. If you don't, what will happen is the actual sweet potato may collapse on you. And the same with the second one. So you see the foil is a bit too big, so I've bent it back a bit again, just to leave that little open area on the actual package. So these two are now going to head over to the grill outside, or if you're camping, I use charcoal. Now, this has been burning probably for about 25 minutes, and I've just got a little grill that sits on top. It's just a pile of bricks formulated with an enamel dish holding the charcoal. So that's just about ready. You can wait till they're completely, you know, when you see all the ash if you like, but these are covered. They're not going to get any of the fumes. So these are going on top. It's about 3 inches between the top of the coals and the grill, so they're not on direct heat. And what I'll do now is, you'll see I've made a little foil cap to go across the top. And this is 5 o'clock at night, so that's going to do other than maintain the heat around all of the food while it's cooking. It's not sealed, it's just allowing the heat to penetrate all around. So I went inside and had a beer, as you do. An hour later I came back out and checked, and I thought, they're nearly ready. But I just checked the sides and thought they could another 20 or 25 minutes. So I put the foil cap on again. Does a great job. So then I left it, and I came back around about 25 past 6. So now I'm checking, and I can feel they're done. They're beautifully done. So what I'll do now is I'll just put them on the plate. And they are hot. Don't do this at home if you haven't got metal fingers like I have. And that's it. And I even made a cup of tea on that later because there was plenty of heat left in those coals. So again, didn't go to waste. It made a cup of tea, or 2 cups of tea actually. So now I took it inside, and what I'm going to do now is unwrap them so we can eat them. So you're looking at an hour and a half roughly by the time I went out, put them on the charcoal. There's no rush. I mean, you eat when you're ready to eat, when the food's ready to be eaten. Now, I didn't put any butter or oil on top of the foil before I started because I know a lot of moisture comes out of potato and sweet potato, as you'll see. But it's slightly sticking. Nothing major here, just slightly sticking. So all I did was push against the potato and pull the foil away, and that unseated it, so there was no foil stuck to the food or anything. If you're at all concerned, put a little bit of oil or butter, a little bit, and rub it over the foil before you put the actual sweet potato in there. Now, this is the proof in the pudding. Let's take the lid off that we created by cutting it earlier, and just need to fold that back, and that smell is unbelievable. There's ham, eggs, bit of seasoning, and cheese. I mean, where can you go wrong with cheese? So this is the wife, so she's getting a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we're going to put a bit of sour cream on these when I finish dishing them up. Just cutting it open to show you it's fully cooked, and there's the little egg Bo Peep looking inside. Truly one of those things great when you go camping, or if you're living in a situation where you need limited resources, so you can utilise the actual vegetable to do the cooking. This is mine, like I say, somehow, I don't know how, but it looks like most of ham got into mine, but like I say, them's the breaks. So we've achieved a great deal with very little in regards to cooking. There's been no pot or pan. This is just alfoil or aluminum, as you Americans call it. God knows why. And put a bit of sour cream on top of these. They were absolutely delicious, I've got to tell you. Try them. If you've never done it, give it a go. So if you have been, thank you very much for watching.